Next up is Instapaper. All right, we're going to talk about Instapaper briefly and why it's in the optional sites, and that's because Instapaper is it's like Pocket, that it's a place that you can store items, URLs to read later. So it's like, it's essentially a place that you can store content for reading later. Very similar to Pocket, and even somewhat like Evernote, because Evernote kind of uses that function as well. Instapaper used to have an RSS feed output. There was no public profile URL, but it was valuable because we could automate sending content and links into Instapaper through IFTTT. And then there was an RSS output from Instapaper, from our saved items, okay, that we could use as a unique RSS feed for other syndication purposes, and also for submitting to RSS directories and aggregators, which just pushes some more authority back into our overall networks and our accounts. But they took away, Instapaper changed their interface recently, and they do not have output RSS feeds anymore. They do have a public profile URL now, though, which they didn't have before. So there is some value in saving items into Instapaper and then having them show on your public profile URL, because that could be another location that you build links to that would have all of your links that you've saved into your Instapaper account. The problem with it is, in order for the saved items that you can automate saving items in Instapaper through IFTTT. That's fine. But the problem arises with Instapaper in that the saved items need to manually be shared. It's just a button that you click inside of Instapaper to share those saved items to your public profile. So, although we can automate saving items in Instapaper, we can't automate sharing those items to the public profile. So it requires a manual aspect to it, which would, again, requires you to log in to Instapaper and click the share button for the content. So for that reason, I only recommend, or I find it only useful now, if you're managing like one branded account. Like if you're doing this for your own business, or you're managing it for somebody's business, and you want the additional SEO benefit of Instapaper, then you can log in like maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, or whatever schedule you want, and just go click the share button on each one of the saved items. Because again, the saved items will be automated through IFTTT, and you only need to log in every so often and just click the share button for them to appear on your public profile URL, or your public profile page, excuse me. But if you're doing any more than just like managing one account, I just say skip it, because it's just not worth it, in my opinion. The IFTTT networks are supposed to be for automation purposes, and when we have to incorporate a manual aspect to the content syndication, then to me it kind of defeats the purpose. Again, if you're only doing this for like one account, and it's for your own, if you're a business owner, for example, and you're going through this training to get better SEO and drive traffic and generate and automate your social media updates and all that, then you can certainly do this, because it wouldn't be that much for you to go in once every couple weeks or whatever on a schedule and share the content URLs to your public profile page. But if you're doing this for multiple accounts, or you do this as a service for others, I certainly don't recommend it. So that said, we'll run over to Instapaper and set up an account. All right, so let's go back over to Firefox and go to Instapaper. Create an account. We're going to use our email and password. Okay, so if we come over here and we go to profile, this would be the profile page, but we want to go to settings, I believe. Yeah, and we want to go to avatar. Let me pause. Okay, I just added the avatar. The display name, we can change that. We could say Get It Done or Vernon E. Done, whatever we want. I'm going to say Get It Done. Username is not registered. We can register a username. So in this case, I'm going to say Get It Done. Now you can see that that's my Instapaper profile URL. So like if I copy this link and I go take a look at this, this would be my public profile URL. Okay. If we go look at this in an incognito window, you'll see that this would be what it looks like to somebody not signed in. But this is where the articles will go that you share to your public profile page, which is what requires the manual aspect. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a moment. We'll go back over here and see if there's anything else. Okay, so connected accounts. We can connect accounts to this like Facebook, if we're using Facebook, Twitter, Pinboard, Evernote. These are all, and Tumblr, right? So these are all, guys, you know, Twitter, Evernote, and Tumblr are in our standard IFTTT networks. Pinboard is optional. We have another training video about that, and Facebook is optional. But we essentially could create 5 different accounts in here, or connect 5 different accounts. Now, that sounds like it would be hugely valuable, right? But the problem is that the only way what happens with this is that Instapaper will share content from Instapaper to those accounts. So if you automate like a link being shared or syndicated to Evernote from IFTTT, excuse me, not Evernote, Instapaper, from IFTTT, then once it goes into Instapaper, then Instapaper will post to these other properties. The thing is we're already going to be posting those other properties directly through IFTTT. So this would be like a 2-step approach. It would be like, if new content is posted to my blog or posted to my YouTube channel, then save to Instapaper. Then Instapaper would say, if new content, and this is outside of IFTTT, but Instapaper sees a new saved item, then it will post to either Facebook or Twitter or Evernote or Tumblr or all of them, whatever. So it really doesn't make sense. You'd end up having with duplicate posts unless you turned off the IFTTT recipes. So it's not really necessary to do that. Now, it's not that if we connect Tumblr, a Tumblr post will save into Instapaper. It doesn't work that way. It's only whatever items are saved in the Instapaper will then share to these other accounts. So, and the problem with it is, as I've tested this, is the link that it would share doesn't link to Instapaper. It links back to the original content source. So there's really no reason to use this sort of a method. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of share, clear that up. All right, so there's no sense in actually connecting those other accounts, is my point. All right, so we'll go ahead and just click back on Instapaper here. This will take us back into the main area. Now, just to show you how this works, if I click on Add Link, we can just grab a link. So we'll go grab a link from one of our blog accounts. So maybe the Medium account. Let's go use that one. Let's copy this. We'll come over here. Okay, so this is the article URL. I'm going to go back over to Instapaper. We're going to paste this in. Click Add. So you'll see that this is the actual saved item, right? We just saved this link into our account. But if we go look at the incognito window and we click refresh, there's no item here. You see that? Even though we just saved an item in here, there's no item in our public profile page. So the only, and all IFTTT will do is save the item into Instapaper. It will not publish it or share it. Okay. Unfortunately, I've tried to create the recipe. Now, if the recipe becomes available, we will update the training and make sure that that's made. You know, that recipe has been shared with you guys so that you can automate this. But until then, it's right now at the current time of this recording, it's not available. But if you see this right here, this share button, let's hover over it. It should pop up and say share. Well, it doesn't. But if we click that, you see how it says share. We can share that if we want to, and or excuse me, favorite. If we click share, we can share it through email or through one of those other accounts that we could have connected, which I showed was Facebook, Twitter, Pinboard, Tumblr. those accounts. But if you click the favorite button here, or the like button, okay, now that I just clicked that little heart button, if I come back over to the incognito window and refresh, there, now it's there. So unfortunately, we can't click the IFTTT recipes do not have an auto like recipe for these. I wish it did, but right now it does not at the time of the recording. Again, if that changes, we will update the training. So the idea here is with Instapaper is if you have a single account and all you're doing is trying to get additional SEO benefit to one account, then it would make sense, in my opinion, to come in once, all of your saved items would be available right here in your dashboard. So you can automate all of your content postings, whether it's YouTube videos or blog postings or whatever. Everything will automatically be saved into your Instapaper account. Then all you would have to do is, like, once every 2 weeks or whatever, come in and just scroll right on down the list and just click the like button for each one of them. That would make them become available in the public profile page, and that's the value, because you could build links to this public profile page. And so it just, again, it interlinks all of your properties. It gives you another backlinking opportunity. But if you're doing multiple accounts, guys, you're managing multiple networks, then I certainly don't recommend it. It's too much work. So with that said, let's go ahead and just copy the information over to our spreadsheet. You can see that the username is Get It Done, and the password and email are the same. The last thing we want to do is double check that we don't have to verify anything in the Gmail account. Right here, just make sure that we don't have to click anything to confirm the account, and it looks like we're okay. All right, and that's it for Instapaper. We'll see you in the next video.